Hi everyone, thank y'all all so much for being here with Hasty Vegan. I'm Shayla Hastings, and this is
Mariee Murphy. Hello, everybody.
So this is Mariee Murphy. I'm so excited that she's here today. She is a Christian artist, and she does so many wonderful things, has so many albums out already. But this time, we're here to promote her brand new album, Future Risk It. So thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you for having us. I'm happy to be on with you guys.
Yay. Well, today we're going to be making her favorite thing. So I don't know if you guys are following me on Instagram. If not, go follow me. It's at Hasty Vegan. And she is my main supporter. And she is also here in the Dallas area. So I make her stuff all the time. She's my taste tester, unofficial taste tester. So she will be very honest about how everything tastes. But we're here to make her favorite two dishes that I've been making thus far. So today we're making lavender shortbread cookies, and we're going to be making oyster mushrooms. So they're both super simple, super easy, and we can do both of those today. At the same time, we're going to get to know Mariee Murphy even better, and we're going to talk about her new album. So any opening comments or remarks you'd like to make before we get started?
Well, I'm just excited to be here. And like she said, I'm her taste tester. And so I'm excited to be able to taste my favorite foods again.
Yay. Well, again, thank you all for being here. We do have comments here on our live stream. So looks like Pastor Doc is here. So thank you so much for tuning in. And y'all just keep the comments coming. Talk to us while we're doing this. And we look forward to interacting at the same time. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is our shortbread. I like this one because it's even simpler than any other baking that you can do. It's really hard to go wrong with it. So we're going to take our bowl and our measuring cups here, okay, and we're going to start with our flour. So you and I have talked many times about flour. We've talked about just the properties in it. So we go with unbleached all-purpose flour. So I guess this would be a good time to kind of transition into vegan and why you're vegan. Okay. So for those of you who don't know, she is vegan, officially 100% vegan. And so would you like to talk about that?
I've been vegan for about 3.5 years. And so I love it. It actually, immediately I saw results from it. I got plenty of energy. So I'm always fully energized. I never have to take a nap usually during the day because I'm fully energized. Exactly. Because the food that you eat when it's plant-based is just so much lighter than eating meat and also dairy. And so it's just really good benefits. And I like what she uses here with the unbleached flour because it's just has all the nutrients in it. And when you're vegan, you eat mostly micronutrient foods. And so those foods are what we need for our bodies to function properly. So being vegan, I love it. It's been 3.5 years and I do not miss anything about meat or dairy.
That's awesome. Another thing that I just remembered about like bleached versus unbleached as well is the fact that it's technically the same flour, but bleached uses chemicals to hurry the process up. So again, we don't want that in our bodies. We want to be light and be the optimum health. So let's go ahead and let's put 2 3/4 cups in here. Okay. Do you want to do it or do you want me to? Okay. So we need 4 of those. Okay. 5 of those actually. Yes. Fill them all the way up. Yes. We'll fill them up and then level them off. Level them off. Yes, ma'am. Now, if you're doing a recipe that calls for sifting, a way to do that if you don't have a sift is to actually take a spoon and just spoon it in there without packing it down. Okay. But this recipe can go either way. So we're just going to put 5 of these half cups in here, and then 1 of our 4th cups. 4. Let me give us a list. Okay. 5. All right. And then we need 1 of the 1/4. Okay. All right. And then I'll put this to the side. Oh, no, I got ahead of myself, y'all. And then 1. Okay. And we'll clean up the kitchen later. Yeah. I did take a risk wearing all black today. I just wanted to look cool.
You want to be futuristic.
Exactly. Because the album is Future Risk It. So that's our first ingredient. The second ingredient is a good pinch of baking powder. So
pinch is what?
It's just a pinch. I don't know. A pinch. Okay. So I put about what I thought was like half a teaspoon?
Pinch.
Literally a pinch. That's what it says. A pinch. All right. Then we want a half a cup of our sugar.
Okay.
So I have this organic brand. I've talked about organic so many times. And this is my favorite brand, by the way. I don't know if you know that. Yeah. I got their chickpeas are the ones that only have the water and the sea salt.
It's a good brand.
Their veggie broth, everything is good. So we need I believe we need a fourth. Nope, we need a half cup. You're right. Sorry guys, I have my instructions right here. This is a cookbook while she's doing that I love. My grandma gave me this, and it talks about the health benefits. So, you know, Mary over here, she was just talking about, you know, it being good for our bodies. We're talking about why we want bleached or unbleached, versus bleached. So this also shows us why lavender is good for us. So I'm using this recipe today, and this book is Grow, Cook, Nourish by Darina. So if you guys get a hold of that, let me know. But that's what we're looking at today. So I'll put it so you guys can see what I'm looking at. All right, and so lavender, we're gonna want at least one of these guys. Yeah, 3 tablespoons of this. So this is a guy I get from Whole Foods. I don't know where, because I know we have people on this channel who are actually not from the United States. So we have many other countries. So I'm not sure where you guys get your dried lavender, but from Whole Foods, I can get these little blocks that are exactly 3 tablespoons, and we put the whole.
Oh, nice.
So we'll open this up here. All right. It's a cute little package here. I'll go ahead and put that in for you. There we go. Just little lavender leaves. Yeah, so for those of you guys who can see it, little lavender leaves. All right. Set that to the side. Now we need 5.5 tablespoons of our rice flour. So this is going to give it that like earthy taste. So I have a brown rice flour by Arrowhead Mills. And I don't have a tablespoon thing, so we're going to have to do some counting here. All right, so this is a half teaspoon. And so if we're putting in 5, actually, let me get a regular spoon. Yeah, let me just do this. Because normally if I am putting this out ahead of time, I try to be exact. But this is about a tablespoon, so we're going to put 5.5 of. Okay. You want to dig in?
Sure.
Awesome. Now move our sugar out of the way.
5.5.
Here's 5.5.
Another one off as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so 1. And I say this out loud, so I won't leave it. 2. 3. 4. 5.5.
Just eyeball it. So the thing with actual baking, right, is you tend to need to be pretty exact, but this is a very forgiving recipe. So us doing it this way is not going to be any issues. What I love about it. All right, so we have our 2 3/4 cup all-purpose flour. We have our pinch of baking soda. We have a half a cup of our sugar, 5.5 tablespoons of our brown rice flour. We have our lavender, 3 tablespoons of lavender. We're going to do a pinch of salt, which in this case, what I do is I just open up the side that's where it doesn't pour out. You don't want to kind of salt. And I just do that again, equivalent of maybe a half or 1/4 teaspoon, of salt. And then the cool part is the butter. Okay. So there is no milk, there's no oil, there's nothing in this except what we just put in and then butter. Now you want the butter to be cold, and that way what happens is when it's in the oven, it kind of like shocks the butter, and that gives it that airy shortbread. Okay, nice. So we're gonna go ahead and mix this together real quick, our dry ingredients. I mentioned on the channel before that why you do this is so that way, of course, all the seasonings can get in, because when it gets wet, it can clump. Nice. And then we're gonna bring out our handy dandy food processor here. If you have a blender or anything else or a hand mixer, that'll work just as well. But what we're going to do is we're going to pour this in here, put in our butter, which is, I believe, a 1.5 cups of butter, 1 3/4 cups, a 1 1/3 cups of butter. and our sticks. So that's, I know, 2 sticks and a little bit more. And we'll just blend it, and then we're gonna press it into our pan, and that's it, and we bake it. Easy, very, very easy. I still don't know if you would do it. Would you?
Probably not. It's too many ingredients, too many steps for me.
Right, ingredients aren't too bad. We'll just stick that there. The counters are clean. I'm gonna pour this in. Okay. Use our spoon to help here. Okay. And again, this is why it's a risk wearing black. Yes. Just in case. Well, while I'm pouring this in here, let's talk about your album. Okay. So, what is the vision behind the album?
Well, the vision behind the album, originally, we got the vision, my husband got the vision because he felt like that God was saying that will be the year to go back to the future. And so that means that we're going to have to go back to the Bible, the way the Bible does things in order to move forward. And so when he got the vision for Futuristic, he wanted the album to be a futuristic style. And so,
I like it.
So he just used it as a play on words. And then what we titled it was Futuristic, which means that we're challenging people to look at what they believe and are you willing to risk your future on whether Jesus is the way, the truth, or the life. And so, of course, we as Bible followers, Christ followers, we know that Jesus is the way. And so we said, we don't want you to risk your future trying to wonder if he is the way, he is the way. So that's the vision for the entire album, is just to let people know that, hey, Jesus is the way, so let's just follow him. So we want to get that message across.
That's awesome. It's a really good album.
Thank you.
I may be biased, but I'm a little biased. But I do love not only this album I mentioned, you have multiple albums. Your original spelling of your name is Mariee, yes. But the last 2 albums are under Mariee.
That's right.
So you may stage name. It's the stage name. It's an awesome. I like it because it sets her apart from everybody else and easy to find.
Thank you.
Because I don't know anybody else who has that. So go find her. But I do encourage you guys. She's on all the major streaming services. I know Spotify, Apple Music. I know a lyric video might be coming out soon.
This coming week. So yes.
Yay. So y'all be in tune for that. That's going to be on YouTube.
Yeah.
And then I think there's a new streaming service called DZ. Mm-hmm. I'm not familiar with it, but it's on that. So we have no excuses. and for the most part, you can get some of this stuff free. And what I love about her music is it's not just, just another Christian artist that's out there pushing stuff. It's the lyrics. The lyrics matter. So for those of you who are really trying to, get the word in and, there's listening to sermons and there's spending time on your word, which is all important. I encourage everybody to do that. But this is another way that it's catchy. It gets it in your ears and it's the truth of the word. And, it's another way to kind of meditate on that word and grow in your faith.
It's true.
Yeah. So the lyrics are really important and they are in line with the word. There's no like, off doctrine here, off doctrine there. It's on point. So I want to encourage that. But I also want to say it's Christian pop.
Yes.
So it's not, it's different. And
it's to it.
Exactly. I think my sister-in-law said that she could work out to it and all that kind of stuff.
My mom also works out to it.
So she actually works out. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome.
Thank you.
So we're going to transition here to our butter. So what I wanted to do is I have 2 1/3 cup. So for those of you who are using sticks, my sticks are a Country Crocks Plant Based butter. And each one of these is a 1/2 cup. And then I love that they have the little lines on it. And I've cut a 1/3 cup. But what I want to do is I want to cut this into they say little tablespoons on here. So I'm going to cut it into tablespoons so that way it mixes better. So I'm just going to do that real quick. This is a granite tabletop and it hasn't been washed. Just so everybody knows what's happening here. I encourage people to look out for their counters. I'm just, make sure they're granite if you're going to do anything on it. So I don't want to get that all over the counter, but be careful when you're using knives. Don't always encourage people to do this.
Don't try this at home.
Don't try this at home. But I know this specific knife is, some knives are really, really sharp. And I would not even chance it. Hopefully the other one cuts better. All right, so I'm just doing this again. This is to let it be fluffy. Yes, ma'am. Now I have butter all over my hands here. All right, let's see if I can get this one to cut. Would you like napkins? Yes, ma'am. I'll give it in just a second. Yeah, this knife is definitely be sharpened. And maybe the butter a little colder too. But again, very forgiving recipe. All right there. If you would like to, you can also get your hands dirty over here with me.
It's a little messy, isn't
It's
it?
a little messy. I think they should have been a little colder. Again, we wanted it to shock for the rising effect. So for those of you at home, leave it in the fridge maybe until right out, depending on how hot the kitchen is. I already had the oven, I don't know if you guys saw me, start preheating the oven and putting that on 350.
Okay.
So of course it's getting a little warm here in the kitchen. And that means that the butter is currently right now that softened, more of a softened texture. So, all right, I'm gonna need some actual soap for this.
This one is not cutting.
This is not cutting. And this is live. You get to see all the ins and outs of what can go right and what can go wrong in the kitchen. There we go. Leave the soap out for you. Came to get messy.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This is rare for me, so yay.
Yay.
Okay.
Awesome. All right, so the soap is right there. It's got butter on it. And then we'll clean that up later, guys. All right, so she's put the rest of the butter in, and so while she's cleaning her hands, I'm gonna go ahead and make some noise over here by blending this together. And so there may be times where you have to stop when you're pulsing and make sure everything's just kind of moving around, everything's mixing together, because you do want it very well blended and getting the butter all around. So let's go ahead and do that. Make some noise. Make some noise. One more time, guys. Actually, let me get it down a little bit. Check that out. See how it's crumbly? Okay. So that's kind of giving that shortbread texture.
Oh, I love it.
Yes, ma'am. And so this is your favorite kind of dessert, right? Is the
shortbread. I love the texture of shortbread cookies.
They're actually really good. And I love the fact that it's simple ingredients here. No milk. It just makes it easy. Okay. I actually think that that's pretty good. So I'm gonna put this over here. We can actually put that in.
Okay. It's actually not a bad. It hasn't been bad, so I might make it.
Well, this is really it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna line my pan with parchment paper. Okay. If I can find the beginning of this thing. All right. There we go. And just kind of leave that as is. Okay. And then I'm just gonna take our mixture and press it in. That's literally it. Okay. So I like to take that guy out first. It helps. Not to stab myself, but it also helps get things out. And then I'm just going to pour it in. Okay. And get the stuff off the bottom here. But like I was saying, it's kind of crumbly. This piece is, it just crumbles, and that's the shortbread texture. Okay. You have a food processor at home?
I do not.
Oh, okay. So I'm wondering if a blender would work with this too, because it's just the simple way.
It does pulse.
It does pulse.
Mine does.
Okay. Well then, yeah. Okay. It might be something you can do at home.
Okay.
You would do it. But yeah, I'm just pressing it now into shape here. If you have a rolling pin, that also helps. Okay. I know I don't have a rolling pin, but I've used like a cup before. Okay. And just been able to press it out. But using your hands too works just fine. Yeah. And I'm just trying to get it all one layer, so it's a little bit here in the middle. Okay. I'm trying to get it to push to the sides.
Simple.
Very simple. And so we're gonna put it in for at 350 Fahrenheit. For those of you who are not in the United States, it's Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
And then we're going to put it in for about 30 minutes until it's a little brown. If you want a longer route, if you've got the time, I mean, this is hasty, so we're going to do the 30-minute route, but you can do it at 300 degrees Fahrenheit for about an hour. So it doubles the time.
And what's the difference?
With the difference with the taste. I'm actually not sure. I haven't done it, but I'm sure it's just a slower rise.
Okay.
But I mean, you tasted it when I made it for you the last time. It was the 350.
Okay. Yeah.
And so I think it did well. There may be some science to the way it works with the butter and kind of a slower shot.
Makes sense. Yes.
But we've already warmed up our butter, so we might as well get it cooking. All right, so that's it. Now we're gonna stick it in our oven. 350 for 30 minutes. Wow. And then it'll be lightly going brown. So I'm gonna wash my hands again. Make a message. And then what I want to do is I want to grab something real quick because I'm very interested in Mary Murphy sharing this story about your album cover.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know how many of you have downloaded it, but I want you guys to see this album. For 1 second, let me grab this real quick.
Okay. So those of you that are watching, you can follow me if you want to on Mary Murphy Music. That's on Twitter, that's on Instagram, and that is also on Facebook. So you can follow me at Mary Murphy Music on all of those, and also on YouTube. So
perfect. Yes, thank you for plugging that in. Perfect timing for that. All right, so I want to show you. This is it. Yeah, I'm just making sure the lighting gets it. So this is her album cover, y'all. This is it. This is futuristic. So now you can understand.
that's actually me.
This is her. And so I love this because she did a premiere on December 26th of last year. She had a premiere of her album cover, and it was like, whoa, this is awesome. It's not what you were expecting. But yes, will you go ahead and tell us the story?
Absolutely. Yeah. So like I told you guys before, it is all about being futuristic. And so my husband, the visionary behind all of this, he said, we need someone to do your makeup to where it looks like a futuristic robot. And so my niece found somebody, and she did the makeup for me. It took her about 2 hours to do the makeup. But it's a pretty long time. And it took me about 30 minutes in the shower trying to wash everything off of my face. And I found black paint in my ears the next day, still trying to wash makeup off of my face. But it was worth it because we've got the look on the CD cover of being futuristic and the futuristic robot. And so all the songs that you hear on this EP, it has a futuristic sound as well.
It does.
Yeah.
Just to that.
Yeah.
Really does.
All the music is futuristic. And like Shayla said, it's very catchy. And so the lyrics will stick with you because you can't stop singing them. And so it was a really unique thing. We saw that nobody had done it before. And so we always want to do something different to help people remember. So
right, exactly. And I love it. So again, Mary Murphy Music. Follow her on Instagram. You're on Facebook as well.
That's right. Same name.
Same name. And she posts all the time. You get to hear her sing. Any upcoming dates, anything that's going on, y'all stay tuned to this. Y'all don't want to miss it.
And we have it in seasons. So this is the first season. This is season 1.
Exactly.
Episongs instead of episodes. Episongs 1 through 4.
And so they're telling a story.
They're
all telling a story. So stay tuned for the rest of this year. There's going to be 3 more episodes, seasons with 4 episongs each. Yes. And so that's going to be coming out all throughout this year. You don't want to miss the next part of the story, guys. So literally, go check her out. All right. Well, that's all we're doing for our Lavender Shortbread cookies. So I want to kind of transition us over to the stove, to this masterpiece of stuff we've got kind of going on back here. So I'm going to move the camera, guys. So just give me a second to move this closer because I want you to be able to see what we're doing. Okay. All right. Anything falls, it is what it is. All right. I'll make that. Okay. There it went. There we go. All right. So I'm going to, That's okay.
Okay.
Thank y'all for bearing with us as we move this camera around. All right. All right, so what we're doing now is our oyster mushroom. From stand by you. Okay. Can you guys see this? Can you see this, Bill? Yay! All right. This works. So we're doing our oyster mushrooms. If you've never worked with oyster mushrooms, they're these weird looking things. I say that because I don't know if I've ever told you this, but the first time I ever saw these, I grabbed them in the store. I was like, okay, cool, oyster mushrooms. And I looked at them and I literally let them go back because I was like, I don't know what to do. I was like, this is crazy. And again, YouTube, I love you because you showed me how to cook things within what I was doing. But they look weird, but they're actually super duper simple. So what I want us to do is I want us to get our pan started. So this is what I'm really excited to show you because this is so simple. You can do this at home. And I think you will do this at home. So I'm going to turn the pan first on about medium low. So that's about a 6 on my stove. I'm going to grab a tablespoon from here, and we're just going to put 2 tablespoons of butter here into our pan. Yep, and so again, I have Country Crocks Plant Based butter, same thing as the sticks. Okay. It's the same exact thing. I just have it in this little container. Okay. When you don't need to measure, this is easier when you're trying to put it on a toaster, anything like that. There we go. So we've got 1, and I like to put 2. Again, this, I'm doing 2 packs of these large oyster mushrooms, so that's why I'm doing 2 tablespoons. Okay, and get that out. And that's pretty much all we'll need, because you want it to get the oil, because of course, most things plant-based don't have a lot of fats or oils, unless you're dealing with like avocados or something like that. But then we do want it to sear. Okay? So we're just going to let that melt, and once that melts, then we're going to put our mushrooms in it. Okay. So I'm going to put this to the side. Clean my fingers off. And so this is the cool part. You can stack it. But we're going to prepare our mushrooms. So you can either do this with a knife, or you can do it with a hand. Okay. So very, very simple. Taking this guy out. So it's 2 pieces. Okay. We'll put this over here. Put this here. So just kind of show you, again, it looks weird, like what do I do with this? Actually, multiple ways you can do it. You can either stick this whole thing in and just let it press. I think the first time I ever made it for you, that's what I did. Okay. But for this recipe, we're taking it into pieces. Okay. Now, if you ever see any white, just slightly white in there, that actually is not mold. That is something that I had to Google this because I was like, what is this? It's my work. I just bought this. It looks good. It's something that the mushroom does. Okay. But you can eat it. Everything's fine. Now, you know what mold looks like, but the mushroom typically will start looking bad as well. Getting that way. So I literally start pulling it off. Now, again, these end pieces, try to make sure everybody else can see these end pieces here, they can get long, and I like to cut them off. Otherwise, or here with my finger, otherwise, when you're eating it, it doesn't get as chewy. However, by itself, it gets chewy. Okay. So it's starting to foam here, or getting to a good point where we can start putting it in. So it's all melted for those of you who can see it. Y'all can see it. It's all melted. Okay. We just literally start putting it in. So you'll see how quick this is. Okay. I'm gonna actually have to play catch up. It takes longer to talk about it than it does to do it. So just tear a little end piece off. And I'm putting it down gills. And then we're gonna just put the seasoning on that one side. That was how a recipe had suggested it to me, and it works really well as far as browning the front and not overwhelming with the seasonings. You want to try some? Sure. And that to you. Yep. And then I'm going to grab our seasonings. Okay. So we have our salt. You got a little over here. Yeah.
So gills down. I'm trying.
Gills down. Gills down. All right, she's working over there. Look at her go.
You're a good teacher.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, so now this.
So this guy, what I like to do with it is I like to cut it up or to tear it into pieces.
Okay.
You can, yeah, you can, because it tears really simple.
Okay, gotcha.
I usually, if you have nails. Now, what I usually do, because we are putting tiers, I put them in just closer to each other. Yeah, just, we're gonna shove it all in. So I'm gonna open our other pack over here.
Okay. Let's see if you can use the whole
Yes,
thing.
ma'am. You can literally use the whole thing, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Now, there may be some pieces that you may, I don't want to cut that off. Like, for example, this one over here has this piece here, so we're gonna cut that off.
Okay.
Let me show you guys that. Make sure y'all can see it. There's like a weird little looking piece. Doesn't look good texture wise, and it's just something we can cut off.
Okay.
All right. And
Yes,
that's
thank you.
You're welcome. Well, you're gone. I gotta catch up, y'all. All right. I got a few pieces that are loose. I'll just throw them in there with you.
It is easy. You're right.
Very easy. And then as soon as you're done with that, then we'll pour the seasoning on so everything gets seasoned evenly. I'm gonna back up a little bit.
Okay.
Get seasoned evenly, and then we let it go until the front is gonna get charged. So it's gonna go about a minute or two before we flip it, and then we're gonna flip it and keep it in that pan at this temperature until it gets a little bit of a char. And that's it. And so 2 seasonings, I'll go ahead and explain the seasonings while she's working over here. Let me get these closer to you, Joe. As much as will fit. Okay. So 2 ways that I cook this. One way is the hickory smoked salt. And so this is the way that her husband, Pastor Dr. Murphy, how he likes it. So he calls it the little meats. This is his favorite. He does like the other way too, but this is a hickory smoked salt. I did order it. I think I got it off of Amazon, but this is the Viva Doria hickory smoked salt. So here you guys go. Let that zoom in. And this you have to be very careful with. It will oversalt really quickly. So I have some actually in my little spin wheel over here that I can easily just take out. And it has the little slots in it, so again, it's not a dumping. I can just spread out very evenly. So that's one way to do it. Another way to do it, which again is kind of a tip out of my recipe book that I showed you guys earlier, is with Tarragon. So I like this option. I think this is your favorite of the two.
Yes, I do.
So Tarragon, it's really good for you, as most herbs and everything are that we're finding out. And so what you do is we put salt, we put some salt. Again, I use a Himalayan sea salt. We put some pepper, and then we put tarragon. And that's it. And you only season one side. So we're only gonna season that one side. Then we're gonna flip it until it's charred. And that's pretty much it, guys. So I'm very, very simple. I literally think you will do this at home. Will these fit or these? Yeah. That's fine.
Does it matter if they overlap?
No, it doesn't matter.
Oh, they'll fit.
Because they'll shrink a little.
Okay, no fit then.
Okay, just want to help you out. Maybe. You're welcome. And you guys can use a knife as well to cut the pieces smaller. But I like the finger.
I like the finger.
Yeah. It's quick. It's very quick. And you don't mess up as many dishes, or anything like that. All right, so I'm not going to add any more butter. That's all you do is just that too.
Okay.
That's
I was wondering that.
So we're just going to do salt.
Okay.
So then I just pour it across so I can tell it's going across the whole thing. No actual, thank you. No actual measurements here.
Okay.
And then I do the pepper the same exact way.
Okay.
Covered.
Wow.
And then tarragon. So when I'm doing the hickory salt one, okay, for tarragon first off, I have to do this side because it won't come through the slot.
Okay.
So, and I just, sorry.
Oh, wow. You just cover it.
Yeah, for this I usually put a little bit more.
Okay.
And that's it. And then we're just gonna let it char, and then we're going to stir it with a spatula here in a second.
Okay.
With our hickory smoked salt, the only thing different that I do is I just put the hickory smoked salt and then I put pepper. So I use the pepper as well. Just no extra salt because it will get very salty really quick.
Okay.
Okay, all right. So we're just gonna, actually, let me check it to see.
Okay.
Some of them look like they're getting charred a little bit, but they can go a little longer. And we have about 15 minutes left on our cookies. So we're gonna have both mushroom and cookies.
That's awesome.
So you can eat this multiple ways. Pastor Doc's favorite way to do it is to use the lettuce wraps.
Yes.
That is pretty simple. You just get a romaine, a head of romaine, and then you just cut off the end and it comes into little boats. Pretty simple for that way. The way we're gonna be doing it today is we're gonna be using French bread. Now, whenever you're going to the store, look at the ingredients. Ours, again, is unbleached, and everything's vegan. And so you can get fancy with it, and you can put it in a pan and like pan fry it and make it all toasty that way. Okay. We're gonna use the toaster. Easy way. So I'm gonna wait a second here before I hit the button. It's already in the toaster,
Okay.
ready for us to go ahead and hit that. But I just want to continue to talk about the album and talk about, just any projects that you have coming up. So, I changed my favorite songs. So, so there's 4 epic songs. And initially my favorite songs were I Made It and We're Having It.
Okay.
So 2 and 3. And I really like it because I like the stories behind it. Again, there's a lot of storytelling going on in it. It's, Back to the Future is the vision for the year. And so you can see that. You can see in these songs where she's talking about her past, but where it's taken us into the future. And so I really like that, and I really believe that can help a lot of people. But now my favorite one is number 1. We were listening to it last night, and I was like, I think this is like my new favorite.
Okay.
Well, I do like number 4 too, y'all. That's the title cut. I think that's the problem, is I have so many favorites.
Yes.
But I like them all for different reasons. Like I like number 4, we were talking about it, how it is the gospel. It literally is the gospel in a track, and a catchy way to just tell the story about what Jesus did. And again, you want to risk your future, and not just, to say, okay, I'm going to heaven or hell, but, there's so much to this Christian walk and being with Jesus, and, and that's what a lot of the other songs talk about too, is like, okay, this is what Jesus did, and then this is the life you get to live here on the earth, not just waiting to get to heaven. I really like it.
I'm happy you like
I'm
them.
gonna have to change my little graphic card on your thing.
Oh, yeah. I will. I need one for you.
I need a new one.
She's indecisive.
Indecisive, yes. Well, the more you listen to them, the more you're like, oh man. Especially if you listen to them in the car, you turn the volume up.
They grow on you. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite?
I do. Futuristic.
Okay.
Futuristic is my favorite, just because it's the gospel.
Yes, ma'am.
I love it because it's the gospel, and I think it'll reach so many people. I'm wanting that one to go viral. I was telling Shayla yesterday, I want them all to go viral. That would be great, but especially the one that's talking about the gospel, because, like she said, it is a catchy way. If you're not a talker, you can ask. Some people don't want to say, "Hey, Jesus? Are you born again? Or you're Christ follower?" But it's easy to say, "Hey, listen to this song."
Mm-hmm.
Right. And somebody can listen to it and literally get the gospel in song. So,
And I was telling your story last night about, there was someone who was just talking about, not coming to church, which is, that's, they're doing their thing.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as I mentioned that you were a Christian artist, and not just Christian artist, you were a Christian pop, she was like, oh, it was just something, a way, like a little piece that I could share, and a way to share, my faith. And so
it's not threatening.
Yes,
well,
that's a very good way to put that, very non-threatening.
Yeah.
I'm going to check this real quick. So, so I think they're ready to flip.
Okay.
So I'm going to pan this up because I don't know if you guys can see that. Let's get closer. Yeah, like that. All right, so it smells good. It's getting that. So we're just going to flip. See that?
Wow.
See the color? So I'm going to show you guys that color. Yeah. And then we're just going to let it continue to sit. What I noticed too is that some parts of the pan aren't as hot as the others. So, it takes it a little while to get some of the color on it, but that's no problem. It's exciting. It is. My favorites. Like about 15 minutes, usually tops or so, to just from start to finish.
Okay.
Maybe not even that long. Yeah. Do you have any other projects coming up?
I just have, you mean besides music?
Oh, or
anything.
Whatever you want to talk about. I don't want to give too much away.
No. You always got something going on.
They do. That's why I said, what are we sharing today?
Yeah, but mainly this year we're focusing on the music. So just stay tuned for the different seasons that are coming out, and because they'll all have a theme. So every season will have a different theme, kind of like, what season you watch on television now. They'll all have a theme. So I'm interested to know when you guys do download or stream it, the EP. I'm interested. I want to hear what you think about it and what your favorite song is and why. And I'm really curious to hear that. So if you guys downloaded or streamed it, let Shayla know or let me know on my pages. And I'd be curious to know what you think.
Yes, and I'll definitely pass on any comments. But you can head over to Mariee Murphy Music and comment there as well. Yes. That'll be awesome. Share. Because you can share the links, I think, on Spotify. You can share the music. And even if people don't have Spotify like a page, they can still access the song.
Oh, that's good.
So I just want everybody to know you can access it.
Okay.
Man. So I'm going to check our live stream, see if there's anybody who's chatting with us. So I'm going to come over here and see.
Nice.
Yay. Awesome. We have Pastor Doc saying hello.
Hello.
That's what we got right now.
Okay.
So yay. I just want to make sure we're keeping in tune with you guys. And you're looking good over there. Knocking stuff over, y'all. Knocking stuff over. Awesome. So out of all the things that I've made, I know this is your favorite.
Yes.
What is your second?
Let's see. What was my favorite before you made this?
It changed in one day.
It did.
Let's see. I don't know if I remember.
Okay.
I remember the comment.
Okay. She made broccoli with the sauce on it.
Okay.
Cauliflower, I think you made the first time. Maybe.
Like the one the crack crock?
Yes.
The broccoli that was still broccoli.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about. Okay, so this is I don't know what to call it because I kind of changed the recipe, but it is a fried cauliflower. And so what it is it's, again, unbleached flour. And I ended up making a mistake, actually, when I made the recipe for the first time, and I put cornmeal in it instead of cornstarch. But it was so awesome that I took it. And I've never made it the original way that the recipe called for. But it tastes like a country southern food kind of thing. It tastes like a steak. You kind of get that cornbread feel with it. And so I haven't done a video on that, actually.
Oh, okay.
So I will do that for you guys because I made it a few times. I love it. Really simple, more simple than the what you call the cracked broccoli.
Okay.
I like doing the cracked broccoli on New Year's Day. So if you guys want to go back and watch that, that's on my Instagram.
Okay.
Again, that's at Hasty Vegan. You guys can go on there and watch that. But it's more simple than that because there's not a double or triple battering process.
Gotcha.
You mix the wet and the dry together, and so you just take the cauliflower, dip it in, and then fry it.
Oh wow, yeah.
So pretty simple, and then an amazing mushroom gravy. That recipe was inspired by rabbit and wool, so I want to give credit there. But I kind of do my own twist on a lot of the recipes and things that I modify for myself or for you when I'm making something for you.
Okay.
So. Yeah, so I'm going to stir this again. We've got 7 minutes now on our shortbread. Look at that. So again, the color is getting there. So you can do this to the extent of your liking if that's what you want. I sometimes let it go a little bit longer so that more it is. But I think we're good for today. Where we can go ahead and do a quick little taste test.
Okay.
Actually, let's try some bread. When the bread pops up, we'll do a taste test.
I think it's neat that by the time you finish cooking this, then the shortbread cookies are done.
Yes, ma'am. I like to stack my food like that actually when I make things. Specifically for that reason, because you want to kind of say, okay, I've maybe got an hour to do something. How can I maximize that? Right. So I started with the thing that is going to take the longest to cook, and then we just so we're getting dessert and
yay. Yay.
I tend to dance when I eat, when I do a lot of my taste testing because you taste it and you're getting the flavor. And you just like,
It works.
It works, and it's so good. And yeah, all right. So look at that, y'all. I just want to show y'all the colors. Look at it steaming.
See, this is her thing. Like music is my thing.
Yes, I love. Actually, it was y'all who suggested that I do this in the first place because I'm always talking about food.
Yeah.
And like y'all, you need to go get a bigger audience. Yeah, constantly talking about it, making things, and I think that was really cool over the break because I think I just made stuff all the last 2 weeks of 2020.
Okay.
Which was really exciting for me, just trying out new things, and so look out for some upcoming videos from me on that. But I don't know if y'all just heard our toaster, it popped. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn our stove off. And I'm gonna make us a plate, and I want to have your taste test on this.
Yay, okay.
So be careful.
Okay.
So it's not as like darkened as it could be, but it is toasted.
Okay. And now, did you put the butter on?
I did not.
Gotcha.
Usually if there's some in here, we'll put it on top, but since there's not a lot of extra butter going on here, I am gonna butter our toast. Okay. So let me pull out a little butter on here. The cool part about when we have the extra butter in there, and as you're cooking it, if you notice that it's starting to cook out, obviously you can add some more into it. But it's everyone's preference on what they want to do. But what's cool about it being in there is it gets the seasonings for that. I think you thought it was a sauce or an oil at one point. It smells like it's just butter. All right, we've got that, and then I'm gonna dish it up here. And let's see, we'll make it pretty. That's pretty much it. And there's her. Nice. It's a little warm still, but it doesn't take it long to cool off either. So this is a recipe. You're welcome. This is a recipe that when you're making it, you're definitely going to want to make sure that you eat it pretty quickly. Like I think like most recipes are like serve fresh, like serve immediately. That's how they state that. But it does heat up really well, so I often make sure we get in the shot there.
It does.
They do very well. It does very well. That said she ate it for 3 days. So I'm going to show you guys our finished product here, like that. Other ways that I have done this is I have put cheese on it. I put BioLife. Again, BioLife and Just Egg to like sponsor me because it's in every single video I see. So BioLife cheese, I put some provolone cheese on it. Just sometimes a little bit underneath it. You just want a little bit of extra flavor there. You don't want it to. The flavor is coming from it. Yeah. Go ahead. Let's taste.
Here we go.
Do I dance?
Yes. Perfection.
So what do you taste? Like how does it, if you can describe it?
The texture to me reminds me of chicken. It's baked chicken.
Ooh, yeah, right. That's very good.
And what stands out to me the most, I think what helps with the seasoning is the tarragon and then that butter.
I agree with that. That's a very good way to explain that. But definitely the chicken, and even as you said, the baked chicken specifically. Even when you do the other seasoning, that's why Pastor Doc calls it little meat.
Yeah.
It tastes like meat. And specifically, I know people say like portobello mushrooms or other mushrooms give a meat taste, but no, like not the same way that like oyster mushrooms. No. They literally taste like chicken. If you season them and you cook them. I think the first time we had them was at a restaurant and they had like chicken on where they battered it and fried it. And
yes.
I think that was our introduction. But for this, to your point, the tarragon does give it that baked chicken versus when I do the hickory smoke, obviously it tastes more like a barbecue chicken flavor. And the butter. That's a key component. I don't know if you could switch it. I mean, maybe olive oil, but I don't think it would do the same thing because it gives it that juiciness.
Yes.
Love it.
All
right. Yes, ma'am. We have a minute left on
Nice.
our shortbread. So I'm going to look in the oven and see if it's good. And then if it is, we're going to go ahead and pull that out. All right, let's see, y'all. I'm going to grab a thingy. Pop. Let's see. Look at that. There we go. It's done.
Wow.
Super simple. Let me show you guys that texture. See if it focuses in. And so it's pretty solid. Yay. Okay. Yeah. So we're just going to let it cool for a minute and then we're going to cut it. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We'll just set it right there on the side. Let it cool off. You can get like a cooling rack or things like that to set it on, or you can just set it on this. And I have other little things. Okay. Yes, ma'am. So let's talk about the cupcakes I made last night. Those were very good, actually. So I shared that on my Hasty Vegan page. Turn that off. So I shared that on the Hasty Vegan page. Okay. And so I wanted y'all to go ahead and see her opinion of it, because again, she's my unofficial taste tester. Tastes everything. And so I wanted y'all to see that, because that will be a video that I'm going to do in the future. So
they taste just like lemon cupcakes. Usually you can say, okay, yeah, this is a vegan option and it's a good substitute, but this actually tastes exactly like a lemon cupcake would taste. It's very lemony, and she made it all natural, so the frosting is very lemony without that extract taste. Yeah. And then the moisture on the actual bottom of the cupcake is really good too. It's a lot of moisture. It's not dry and it's not heavy or dense. So it's a light cupcake for it to be vegan. So it's actually surprising. It was really good.
You want to know what was in it to make it moist?
Yes, please.
That is vegan yogurt.
See there?
Vegan yogurt.
Almond milk yogurt. There it is. So you see why I do not miss meat and dairy, because there are so many options.
So many options. And like the point of, the part of this video today was, of course, to introduce you guys to, Mariee Murphy, the Christian artist, and promote this awesome album. But it's also to show you guys, a part of this channel is that it's so simple to make these meals, to choose plant-based meals over meat. You don't have to miss anything. You don't have to feel like you're missing anything. Yes. So, tasty. Exactly. Sometimes I'll look at recipes and I'll literally either look at the list. I look at the list of ingredients first and then I go, no. Even me.
Okay.
But then sometimes I say, okay, maybe that's a long list, but I can read the instructions. And if the instructions are simple, I can go, oh, it's like, again, making the lavender shortbread. Okay, it's just one bowl. We just have to put it all in one bowl. Okay. And then it's simple from there. So I can gauge, is this going to be quick? Is it just a lot of ingredients? Or is it like our mushrooms here that are so simple, pretty much 3 ingredients?
I actually appreciate your channel, Hasty Vegan, because you're welcome. Because it's tasty. Like she makes things that she always says, will you make this? Because she knows I don't have a lot of time. And even if I did, I don't like to cook, ever. And so she finds quick little simple meals that I can cook at home. And if I can make them at home, then anybody can, trust me. So I really appreciate your channel, Hasty Vegan. I love it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yay. Well, I hope you guys do try them if you want to try this recipe. I will post, after this is over, I'll go into the description and post the recipes for you guys. So that way y'all have them and all of the instructions. As well as comment. Let me know what you guys did. If you guys changed seasonings, especially for the mushrooms, tell me what you did, what your alternatives were, and I might try them out.
Yeah.
They're good. They sound good. But yeah, definitely interact and try these out. So, as much as I love that you guys watch, I do hope that this helps people. And that's the goal here.
Yeah.
And I did want to go ahead and mention this.
Okay.
So over the past, I think about 3 years, I've had what we call almost vegan. So I have been almost vegan for 3 years, meaning 99% of my diet has been plant-based for health purposes and things like that. So, but for this year, 2021, I'm going 100% vegan.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you. And to that point, is a lot of it is the health-based side of it, my body just reacts better.
Mm-hmm.
We were watching a documentary yesterday, and it was about juicing specifically, but it was just talking about the nutrients and specifically how food impacts your body. And so there's so many reasons people might be on this channel, but some people may be vegan for animal cruelty, maybe health like us.
Mm-hmm.
But I've also found that there's people who are just trying to incorporate plant-based meals into their diet. There's also people who may have some allergies, and this is providing alternatives to stuff that they had been going without because they couldn't do certain things or eat certain things. So for whatever reason you're here, we're here to help you guys. But food is a very important part of your body. So that's why I love this cookbook as well, to tell us what it's telling you what herbs and seasonings and stuff. Or like Tarragon is really, really good for you. It's got a lot of minerals and nutrients. Oyster mushrooms are just delicious. But you know, not even just documentaries, but we've learned so much over the past few years, especially with you being vegan, which sparked a lot of the knowledge for me. But she went vegan first, and that just kind of let me get into the cooking side of it. Was starting to look into recipes and to see how I could cook for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But it led a lot into trying to understand how that impacts the body, and it's helped me personally so much. I know it's helped you. And I've heard, I think I mentioned this on a previous thing, maybe if I didn't. My sister, with my niece was taking certain medicines, and she went vegan for 2 weeks. Maybe longer than that, but you know, incorporating a lot of plant-based diets, but 100% for 2 weeks at least. And in that 2 weeks, my niece went back to the doctor, and they reduced her medicines. Again, just food, changing diet, and it's, you know, there's a lot of good reasons to incorporate more plants into it.
It is.
So I encourage everyone to do that. And there's a hasty way to do it. It is not hard. It is not really hard. So let's actually reuse our little knife here.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring this over so I don't know if they can see me cutting it, but they can see me at least. Okay. All right. We're going to use our... You can finish eating here.
Thank you. You
don't have to wait for me. I'm just going to go ahead and cut it. And then we're going to taste it. So I'm just cutting it. You guys can cut this however you want. I'm literally just making little sticks out of it. However it fits in your containers. It does get crumbly even in a container, so don't shake it. But I think that's the thing with the shortbread, is it's meant to have that buttery flakiness.
Yes.
Have as much as you want. All right, so I'm just going to cut that much up. We're going to get the crispy edges.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me go ahead and pop that out. Ooh, it's still warm. It's nice. Yeah. Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
All right, because I want you to taste it first.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
You see that texture?
You see that?
Y'all,
Can y'all see that?
The texture?
Can y'all see that?
Like a shortbread cookie.
Exactly.
Here we go. Yeah, you get the dance.
You get that one little dance. I don't think there's a way to sit here and taste this without dancing, especially if it's good.
Delicious.
All right, so what are you tasting?
You guys are familiar, you taste the lavender? Okay, you guys are familiar with the shortbread texture. Texture to me is probably one of the most or the most important things on a meal to me, because the texture can make or break it to me. You?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay.
And then I'm familiar with the feedback.
Okay. Yeah, it's very important to me. And I think to most people that appreciate food, the texture, it matters. So now this, it's got the shortbread texture, so it's not crunchy or soft. It's like in the middle.
Right, exactly. That's a perfect way to explain it, because it's fluffy. It's not
fluffy
dense.
is a good way to put it.
It's not dense, but it's got that crumbly, kind of a little bit of a crunch, especially we got the end pieces, so like our little edges. But it's smooth, for lack of a better term, and that buttery fluffiness that's on the inside.
And it's real good coming out of the oven. I haven't had that.
Right, because you had it the next day.
That's right.
Yeah. Did you taste the lavender too? Because maybe I got a lavender piece.
No.
Okay.
So it's not overwhelming. It's not overwhelming, not at all.
Right. So it wasn't overwhelming for me. I could just go, okay, that's lavender.
I got you. one thing I like about these too is they're not overly sweet.
Right.
It's just a hint of sugar, just enough to where you say, I kind of got my sugar sweet craving, out of the way, but it's just enough, just to hit of sugar, just enough.
Did you taste the nuttiness that came from that rice flour?
I sure do.
I definitely want to say like, okay, this is why you might put a little bit of rice flour in it. You may not want to use all rice flour. It's up to you guys. I'm sure that you could change out your flours. I think maybe a chickpea flour instead of the all-purpose might work, because again, it's not a rising. I don't think it would rise well, but it might. Try it out. Let me know if you do. But then you get that nuttiness from that rice flour. I can taste all of those components.
Good job.
You guys can't see me.
I'm over here talking here.
Well, that's it. That's everything.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, I really appreciate you coming on today.
You're welcome.
Everybody, I just want to keep plugging this in. Go get her music. Go download her albums. It will change your life. And I really appreciate her for putting out that good and amazing and God-filled, word-filled content. Music. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Well, y'all, thank y'all so much for tuning in today. Thank y'all for tuning in to the live stream. Again, comment below. You guys can hit the subscribe button, notification bell, and we will see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.